In the corporate chess game, the most dangerous move isn't the one where you lose. It's the one where you win so easily that you begin to believe you're invincible. In 2014, Wall Street watched, mesmerized by the rise of a new king, a compact, rugged camera that transformed any ordinary citizen into an action movie hero. Nick Woodman, the charismatic founder of GoPro, wasn't just selling plastic and lenses. He had bottled human adrenaline itself. The market value of the evaporate company skyrocketed to an impressive $10 billion. It seemed like the beginning of an unshakable empire. But every master chess player knows that positioning your pieces too far forward without a solid defense invites disaster. GoPro's story began far from the suits of New York, on the beaches of Australia, where Woodman was trying to capture himself surfing. The traditional camera market was dying, but he saw a blind spot on the board. People didn't just want to record the world, they wanted to record themselves conquering the world. It was an instant checkmate to the analog competition. Growth was exponential, fueled by the greatest free marketing engine ever created. User-generated content, millions of videos of skydiving, snowboarding runs, and shark encounters flooded YouTube daily with the brand's logo stamped in the corner of the screen. GoPro became a verb, a culture, a global fever, but at the peak of its glory, while champagne bottles popped in California design offices, the pawns on the outskirts of the board began to move. The trap was set, and the king himself was about to jump right into it. Success is a terrible teacher. It flirts with your ego and clouds your peripheral vision. At the height of GoPro's success, leadership made the fatal mistake of confusing niche enthusiasm with a mass market need. Nick Woodman looked at the board and made a bold decision. GoPro would no longer be just a hardware company. It would transform into a media giant, an entertainment platform to rival Red Bull. Money began to be burned on million-dollar hires of Hollywood executives, production studios, and original content projects that would never see the light of day. While the Queen advanced across the board chasing media illusions, the heart of the business was left unprotected. Two silent threats were advancing along the flanks. The first went by the name of smartphone. Companies like Apple and Samsung invested billions to make their phone lenses waterproof and ultra-stabilized. The average consumer realized that the best camera was the one already in their pocket. The second threat came from the East. Chinese competitors began cloning GoPro's hardware for a fraction of the price. GoPro's exclusive piece was becoming a commodity. Desperate to regain the initiative and prove it still commanded innovation, the company decided to make a highly risky peace sacrifice. They announced the development of the Karma, a proprietary drone that promised to revolutionize aerial capture and crush Chinese rival DJI. It was an all-or-nothing move. Behind the scenes, tension was pure. Engineers warned that the timeline was unrealistic and that the electrical system showed critical instabilities. But corporate hubris ignored the warnings. The board was about to catch fire. November 2016. The Karma drone finally hits the market after months of delay. The marketing was flawless. Stocks teased a recovery, but fate plays by ruthless rules. Just 2 weeks after the launch, terrifying reports began flooding the internet. GoPro drones were literally losing power mid-flight and plummeting from the sky like metal stones onto parks and properties. The worst nightmare of any tech manufacturer had materialized. The move that was supposed to be GoPro's checkmate turned into a check on its own king. A total recall was inevitable. The company had to ask customers to return every single unit sold. The blow to their reputation was catastrophic, destroying the trust of the community that had built the brand. Behind the scenes, panic set in. While the Karma fell from the sky, GoPro's shares crashed on the stock market, losing value at a dizzying speed. The production line was halted, the media division was brutally dismantled, and mass layoffs cut deep into the company. The invisible crisis became public and humiliating. Rivals like DJI instantly capitalized on the mistake, launching smaller, smarter, and incredibly stable drones. locking GoPro out of the market it had tried to invade. The board completely changed. Without the media division, without the drone market, and with a saturated action camera market, the once billion-dollar Silicon Valley company saw more than 80% of its market value evaporate. The king was cornered, with no squares to retreat to. GoPro's story is not a tragedy about a bad product. It is a profound lesson on the dangers of strategic disconnection. The brand's mistake was not failing to build a drone, but rather forgetting who it really was on the board. In the chess game of business, innovation without focus is just an expensive way to accelerate your own ruin. After almost being wiped off the map, GoPro was forced to sign a humiliating armistice with reality, abandoning the illusions of grandeur of becoming the new Netflix. Today, the company survives as a shadow of the titan it once was. It stabilized its operations, adopted a profitable subscription model, and remains the gold standard for sports enthusiasts. But the price paid for its initial arrogance was the loss of its global empire. The brand that once aspired to dominate pop culture and worldwide media was forced to accept a secondary role, a fortified pawn in its own corner of the board, watching giants like Apple and DJI dictate the fate of modern technology. In the end, the 80% drop in market value teaches us that leadership is a house of cards built on continuous relevance. When you stop solving your customer's problem to feed your own brand's ego, the market punishes you without hesitation. GoPro proved that you can create an entire market from scratch. But if you don't know how to defend your bases, the very market you created will eat you alive. The game ends not when you run out of pieces, but when you run out of vision. The business board never stops moving. And the next big corporate downfall is already being drawn behind the scenes right now. Which company do you believe made the same mistake as GoPro and is about to suffer the market's next checkmate? Leave your analysis here in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next autopsies of great empires. And hit the notification bell. See you on the next move.